But you don't have to start off with every single subject on day one. You don't have to do that. So take your time, slow down, and breathe. Hey friends, it's Lisa. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to get started with homeschool. Now, a few years back, I created this video right here, which you guys seem to love, and so I decided to go ahead and recreate that video for you. So let's go ahead and let's talk about how to get started with homeschool. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's talk about how to get started homeschooling. So the first thing that you want to do when you're considering getting started homeschooling is look into your state laws. Your state laws is the first place to go because that's the first thing that you want to check off your list if you want to get started in homeschooling, which if you've come across this video, I am assuming that you want to get started homeschooling. So state laws are going to vary from state to state. If you click on the website HSLDA, which stands for the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, it is a nonprofit organization that is there to help homeschooling families. It does have a part of it where you can join and become a member, but you don't have to do that in order to gain great benefits. I will have a link for you guys in the description box below where you can click on that link and you can read a little bit more about your specific state laws. But becoming familiar with your state laws and your state regulations is absolutely crucial and critical when deciding to homeschool. So number one is learning your state regulation and laws. Number two, when you're deciding to homeschool, is trying to figure out what type of teaching style you want to have as the teacher, the educator, the person in charge of your child or your children's education. There are a plethora of different teaching styles that one could decide to go into. And so with all of the teaching styles, what I did was I created an ebook. It is free to download. All you have to do is click the link in the description box below. It'll give you access to my homeschool e-guide. You can read over some of the most popular different teaching styles. When I first started to homeschool and I first came across YouTube videos, I saw so many different videos of so many different people. I actually did not truly understand that there were different teaching styles. I knew that there were different learning styles for students, but I did not really understand that there were different ways of teaching your child, your student, your children. I would absolutely say that that is number two. Getting to know yourself, getting to know what you like, what you enjoy, and how you like to provide information to people is extremely important when educating your children. Number three on my list is figuring out the types of learners that you have. And this may take a little bit, it may take a little while, because some children are more than one. I know for myself, I have a kid who is more than one type of learning style, and that is okay. It is okay to be a combination of things. It's okay to be a combination of teaching styles, and it is okay to be a combination of learning styles as well for your students. So figuring out what those learning styles are, and once you figure out what the learning styles are, figure out which your child or your children gravitate towards mostly. Some students may gravitate towards a certain learning style within a few different subjects, and the other subjects may be completely different. Again, in my ebook, I go over all the different types of learning styles, and so you can read through them and see which one you think your child or your children or your students may be. So number three, definitely figuring out the types of learners that you have and that you are teaching or educating. There are also resources online to help you figure out the different types of learners you have. There's tests that you can take with your children. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to really figure out what that looks like. The importance of knowing what type of learner you are working with, it really goes hand in hand with the next thing, and that is curriculum. Picking out curriculum that will work for your family. Once you figure out your state laws and regulations and you figure out what types of subjects are required, if any, in your state, you figure out how you naturally teach, how you naturally pass on information. Once you figure that out, and then you figure out each of your children or your students, what types of learners they are and how they like to receive information, that can help you pick out what type of curriculum works best for them. But before we pick out the curriculum, I want you to really think about what type of homeschool atmosphere you want to set. Now, there are a ton of different homeschooling atmospheres. For example, there is the Charlotte Mason, there is the classical education, there is the traditional schooling, there is unschooling. So there's so many different options when it comes to homeschooling, and you can absolutely be multiple different options. You can be a combination of different homeschooling styles as well, but you want to figure out where you feel most comfortable. And if you feel most comfortable gravitating towards more than one, that is okay. You can absolutely be an eclectic homeschooler. And when I came into homeschooling, that's kind of where I geared towards, because honestly, I didn't know much about anything. I wish back then that I didn't really label myself, because I've gone through the phases of saying, nope, I'm this one. For sure, this is what I am. And then I jump all in, and then it doesn't work out well. So I do want to say, be very careful with deciding what type of homeschooling family you are. Give yourself time. This is something that you can maybe grab a book from, or a couple lessons from the Charlotte Mason book and see, or a Charlotte Mason curriculum, and see if that's something that interests you. Does it fit your learning? Does it fit your teaching style? Does it fit your children's learning style? So there are boxes that you want to check off before completely diving in and putting your eggs all into one basket. Again, this is something that we will go over if you download my free ebook. Once you have knowledge of the different types of homeschool styles, then I would say go ahead and start looking into curriculum, because you've checked off a lot of things: your laws, regulations, what's expected of you in your own specific state, how you like to pass on information, how your children like to receive information, and then kind of figuring out what you may like as far as schooling is concerned. I will say right off the bat that you probably will end up switching your mind once you get started with something. You probably won't end with that specific teaching style in your homeschool. That's something that I found from just speaking and working with different homeschooling families along the way. Okay, so curriculum, right? Curriculum is big. Picking out what curriculum, if any curriculum, you want to use. I have a lot of tips for selecting curriculum as well in my ebook and in my course. Enrollment opens this year for my course February 1st. So I did have open enrollment in November, where I had my first set of students, and then it closed once that class was full, and you will be able to join again in February. So if you have been thinking about getting some help with getting started in homeschool, going over these different things that we've talked about already, having a coach where you can talk to, ask your questions and things like that, you can absolutely join in on my homeschooling course once it opens. So you can leave your email below and you'll be notified as soon as the course for the enrollment opens up again. Once you are looking for your curriculum, there are a lot of different things that you want to take into consideration, and there are a lot of different tips that I want you to know. The first one is not to go all in on any one particular curriculum, especially if this is your first time homeschooling. You want to try to look for as many free resources in the direction that you're interested in. So if you found a curriculum and you think it could potentially work, go to that curriculum's website and see what free samples they offer for you and your family, and print them off or reach out to the company, see if they'll send you anything, and really dive into whatever you can get your hands on for as inexpensive as possible before you spend all your money and you put all your coins into one specific curriculum. Because I will tell you from experience, you are going to be disappointed with curriculum throughout your journey of homeschooling. You absolutely will, especially within the first few years. Your curriculum is going to change so many times, and so I strongly encourage you, before you commit to any curriculum, no matter what anyone says, no matter what blog posts you've read, no matter what your Instagram friends are saying or what your YouTube videos are telling you, do not commit to one curriculum right off the bat, because I can almost guarantee you you're not going to stick with that curriculum. You're just not. It's just how it works. You try a curriculum to get started, to get you in the groove, so that you can feel comfortable in homeschooling. And then once you figure yourself out more and you figure out your kids more and things change and seasons change and you go through a lot throughout your homeschooling journey, you will change your curriculum multiple times. So friends, hear me out. Please don't buy into any one particular curriculum. Please do not put all your eggs in any basket, okay? Try things out for free. It is okay. There's no rush in grabbing a curriculum. Take your time. Yes, your state will have laws and regulations on what subjects you need to complete, but you don't have to start off with every single subject on day one. You don't have to do that. So take your time, slow down, and breathe. You will find the perfect curriculum for your family. You will, but you have to give yourself grace and give yourself time to figure those things out, okay? So look for what's free and inexpensive and grab those things first before you go pour all your money into any one curriculum. After you have figured out, maybe what curriculum you might want to be interested in, you've taken a list, you've taken inventory, you reached out to companies, try to figure out if you can get your hands on curriculum or seeing what they have available to you for free online, then I will say try to figure out when you want to homeschool, okay? When you want to homeschool, how long do you want to homeschool? Try that out. See if it works. If it doesn't, make adjustments. You need to shave off more time. Do you need more time? Are your kids exhausted? Are you exhausted? Try to figure out what that looks like for yourself and for your family. And once you figure that out, then you're really using that schedule that maybe you created, and you are pulling and adding time to and from as you see fit, okay? So if I was to give you any advice for starting to homeschool, this is what I would provide for you. Please don't forget that you can download my free e-guide in the description box below, where you can see all of the things that I've discussed with you in greater depth and detail. And remember, if you are interested in having a coach or you want to take a course for getting started with homeschooling, my course will come out February 1st. That is when open enrollment will be available for you guys. So make sure you click the link in the description box below so that you can sign up to be notified whenever that course launches. Thank you guys so much for being here. Until next time, take care, friends, and have a beautiful day.